Let's get into today's episode. Today, we're talking about why choosing your unedited reality is your ultimate act of self care. I don't know about you, but lately my social media feed has been feeling a lot like a high end magazine spread. What happened to casual family photos, pictures of dogs? Every time I scroll, I'm hit with a wave of flawlessly designed living rooms, perfectly organized closets, effortlessly put together outfits, and vacations that look like they belong in an episode of Lifestyles and the Rich and Famous. The message is loud and clear. Why doesn't your life look like this too? The problem isn't that people are sharing beautiful things. We all love a pretty photo. The issue is that it gives us the illusion of it being effortless. I like to call this the Instagram filter. We look at those perfectly polished images and heavily edited highlight reels and can't help but think about how we measure up or how we don't. And let's be honest, it is a losing game. As women, we face this absurd pressure to be a rock star in every single category: our careers, our homes, our families, our personal lives. And when we see other people doing it online, they make it look so simple. But we rarely talk about the work that goes into making things look effortless. Behind that gorgeous photo of a home cooked meal is a kitchen covered in flour, a sink full of dishes, toys shoved out of the frame, and probably 10 failed photos before they got the lighting just right. Perfection online isn't a lifestyle, it's a full time job. Yet, when we see the final product, it's easy to think, if my life doesn't look like this, I must not be trying hard enough, or something's wrong with me. Okay, I'm going to put on my therapist hat for a second. There are real negative consequences to this comparison culture. It's exhausting, and it's a massive driver of the anxiety and self doubt that so many of us carry around. Comparison keeps us in a constant state of anxiety. When we feel like we have to perform our lives instead of actually living them, it causes this low grade permanent stress. We're always waiting for the other shoe to drop or worrying that we just aren't keeping up. It turns our inner voice against us. That inner dialogue that we have with ourselves becomes hypercritical. And when our real life doesn't match that curated fantasy on our screens, we don't blame the unrealistic standards, we blame ourselves. We interpret it as a personal failure and just think, I'm not enough. So, how do we step off this hamster wheel? Well, it starts with reclaiming our own space and choosing authenticity over aesthetics. Here's a few gentle boundaries that we can set for ourselves. The first one is to edit your feed. Remember that you are in charge of your digital space. If an account consistently makes you feel anxious, guilty, or less than, hit that mute or unfollow. There's no explanation needed. Another boundary that we can implement is to embrace the beautiful mess. Life is supposed to be a little chaotic. A messy kitchen or a basket of laundry that's been sitting there for 3 days, it's just proof that you have a full, active life. And we can also define success on your own terms. Let's start measuring our days by how much peace, genuine connection, and joy we felt, not by how aesthetic or our living room looked or how many likes a post got. Look for the joy, the genuine connection, and the peace, and start doing more of that. At the end of the day, the most radical thing we can do is look at our imperfect but beautiful lives and declare, "This is enough and I am enough." Let's use our voices to drop the performance, keep it real, and celebrate who we actually are rather than how good we are using Photoshop. Before I go, I want to leave you with this week's permission slip. Permission to stop comparing your real life to someone else's edited fantasy. You can find a digital copy of that ticket and all the links in the show notes. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe and share it with a woman in your life who is finding her own voice. For more deep dives and to join our community, head over to my Substack, The Authentic Voice. And a couple pages from my personal journal this week. On the author front, today is the day. I'm going to be attending the Sun, Sand, and Stories Book and Vendor Fair from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So if you happen to be around Webster, Massachusetts, please come and say hi and visit my table. The event is completely free and it's happening at the Mill at French River, 9 Frederick Street in Webster, Mass. There will be 14 local authors, craft vendors, live music, and a food trailer. It's going to be a gorgeous day, and I would absolutely love to meet you in person. And on the home front, I'm happy to report that things are starting to look up. I've spent the last couple of weeks wrestling with a bout of Lyme disease, but I'm finally on a fantastic antibiotic and officially on the mend. It feels so good to have that turning point behind me and for my energy to be returning just in time for this busy summer season. There's nothing like a health reboot to make you truly appreciate feeling like yourself again. I'm Melissa Ann Palmer, and remember, your voice is the most authentic thing you own. I'll see you next time.